Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Stockwater Stocks in the Move for another week. Today's date is the 22nd of November 2023. My name is Richard Lee and I'm majorstockwater.com.au website for you. So, welcome to Melbourne. Another sort of sunny day down here. A bit chilly, but it's not going to get better apparently. What we do is we focus on the trend. We focus on the haves, which are the trends, and we don't focus on the have-nots, which are the no trends. Okay, this is where we make a concentration. It's important because at the moment there are very few stock picks and a lot of non-stock picks at the moment. So we're really just focusing on the ones that we do have now. So and managing those properly. Being in a neutral position relatively, because our stock pick count is so low at the moment, it protects us from the downside, but it also makes us well prepared for any upside breaks at the moment. Now, we know the index is going sideways, many stocks are going down, a few stocks are going up, but there are plenty of opportunities. Well, the index is going sideways, but there are also a lot of stocks going down, so the theory is that they can break up and there's a lot of opportunities coming on board. So we just have to wait for the time is right, but we just get prepared at the moment. We're in a really good cashed up position, so that's where we want to stay for the moment. Okay, so let's get to our top 10 for a start. Okay, at the top we've got FANG, and you see there in the chart there, it's actually broken to new highs, which is actually leading the index higher, which is probably a fairly bullish sign for the market, I would have thought. We've got Magellan there, which is doing pretty well. The NDQ, which is another ETF. Pro Medicus, Aristocrat, Decadata, all doing well. JXX just broken up. Qual, another international indice, and then there's also BRG, and which is also looking a bit better. And Car Group, which had a little bit of a knock when Amazon had made a little announcement about moving into the car business, which is a bit of a shock when anybody happens and starts encroaching on your territory. Anyway, so they're the top 10 stock picks at the moment, and that's what we've got for now. So they are the haves. Okay, let's get into the indexes now. Anyway, the indices, starting off with the Dow. Here we are. Okay, Dow Jones Industrial Average, as you can see, we've had 3 or 4 very, very, very strong weeks up. Now, we've seen this sort of pattern before, which has failed, not so much here, but we've seen a fairly strong move here, challenging these highs here, which is a good sign. We've got a bit of volume behind it. Momentum's just on the neutral zone, maybe ticking a touch higher. We're above the average, so the signs are strong. You've got to give a market like this every chance to break higher. But will it fail? Will it go through? We don't know yet. We have to bide our time. But they are looking strong, and the S&P is the same, looking very powerful. This has been a sharp rise and good volume there. As you can see, it's a fairly clear picture. Above the average, and you can see momentum again. It's above the zero level, which is important for me. Puts it in the positive sign, and it's also now looks like the little line's about to cross up, which we might get a bit of a kick higher there. So we are on for a challenge by the look of it. And the Nasdaq as well, it's also rallied strongly. Come up to its recent high back up here from back in July, and testing that. And of course, then we've got the ultimate highs there above there at 16,057. Okay, so those indices are looking fairly good. You can see all the momentums are in positive territory. There's a bit of volume here. The markets, the rise have been sharp. So there's a really good sign of strength there at the moment, even despite the selling that has hit the market. So, it's all in all, it's a fairly sound market where sellers have been testing the trend. The buyers are still coming out on top. So it's a really good sign, I think, for the market to move a bit higher yet. Okay, now we move to commodities. Now, copper... it's still going down, but it's starting to flirt with this downtrend here. We've got the moving average here. We've got the little bit of a breakthrough here. We've got a bit of volume happening here. So it's starting to look a bit interesting. Copper, it's come down a long way from its highs. It didn't reach down to its lows here at this stage, which is a good sign, which we would have tipped probably back here. It's held up pretty well, so not a bad sign. And now we might be starting to see a little bit of upside there. So you never know with copper. It could be a nice little surprise for us after having been in a downswing for a while. Gold also is having a bit of a kick higher. I think last night it was up again. So this is right up testing the R1 levels still. So we're going to keep an eye on that one as well. Not through yet. Brent crude, well, it's had a bit of a reprieve by the look of it. Not a huge thing on the chart at the moment, but the selling here stopped initially. So Brent crude again, a little bit of uncertainty, which is a difficult thing. But at the moment, it's a little bit of support here. We might end up chopping sideways for a while on Brent crude while this uncertainty continues geopolitically, all this sort of side of it. So commodities is sort of encouraging. We're not quite there yet. Okay, then we go to our market, the ASX 200, which is Going sideways still, so no real change there. You can see here your February highs or your all-time highs, your June, October 22 lows. We've recovered a bit, not like the overseas markets, but we have recovered a bit. We always tend to not be doing exactly what the overseas markets are doing. We're certainly not going up like they are. So this is still a negative here. So my feeling is there might be a couple of stocks that are still going to go, but at the moment the market is not ready to go at all by the look of it. For the moment, until we start seeing some breaks above this R1 level, we can't get too confident there. Still a couple of stocks like BHP, CBA that are dragging and holding this market higher. Let's say the rest of it's sort of pretty well disappearing off southwards still. Okay, so that's the ASX 200. Now I'm going to go to the stock pick count. So from stock pick counts, we're still flat at 19. I think we had one and we lost one this week, so not much happening there. So we've got 14 of 161 stock picks. Breadth is narrow, and 5 ETS of 23. So there's still 19 there. Things we can focus on. The rest of them we're not going to focus on, although we are looking at those stocks in that grey zone and trend intensity that are the opportunities for the future. Okay, so that is the stock pick count, and if we quickly have a look at the portfolios at the moment, not a lot of change, a slight pick up on a couple of them there. The Conservatives picked up one, got a 30% equities. The Energizer 5 is gone up to 1 to 3, so 60% equities. The Energizer 10 is 5 out of 10. 50-50, and you can see the other two down there. There's the shorter ones, 1 of 5 and 2 of 5 for those two shorter term portfolios. Not a real amount of confidence in this stock pick count. But I'm prepared for breakups, I guess. So we're still biding our time a little bit here. But really today I want to focus on a few good stocks for you to have a bit of a look at, because as I say, we really do want to focus on the haves, not the have-nots, because the have-nots are a waste of time until they start showing their head and start moving ahead for us to have a little look at. Okay, so let's go straight into. Okay, so I've talked about the 5 hottest stock picks this week, and of course the five hottest would be the top 5 trend intensity rankings, which they are. They're the ones that I've got to look at. I'm a process-driven, rule-based system. I'm not going to pick 5 that aren't in there. The 5 strongest stocks are the 5 strongest trend intensity ratings, and as they are, Magellan Global Fund is a trend intensity rating of 10. It's still going higher. I know there's a bit of corporate action in there, but it's still keeping it high. I'm not really too concerned what the reason is. But I've got some very, very good volume in here. As I know it's corporate action, I've tightened my stock quite tight at the moment, so I keep pushing that up to lock into more profit from where we entered back down here to around about 150. Okay, so Magellan Global Fund trending higher, nicely above the average, volume good, momentum positive. Stay with it until told otherwise. So that's my top. My hot stocks, my first number 1 hot stock. My second one is Pro Medicus. Okay, now we've seen this one for a while. Again, we can sit and wonder, look at these things, but it's in a trend, and even in my situation at the moment with its trending so far, because it has a qualified trend and a valid trend intensity rating, the stock can still be bought provided you have your stop loss in there. So, you never know how high these stocks are going to go, but this has gone on a long way, and how long you've waited, I don't know, but it has been in a trend. It has trended well, a bit like another stock we're going to look at later on. We may look at Soul Pattinson, just a very steady, nice upward trend, and it's breaking higher again. Good volume, good momentum, well past the average, so we just keep raising our stop on this. So Pro Medicus, trend intensity rating of 10, that's one of my top stocks. My third one is Aristocrat, which has worked a little bit harder, but just recently starting to push off that S1 level and to challenge this area up around here about 141, 42, which has stopped it previously here. So there's a little battleground going on here, but it is working its way high, so we hold with our position. We stay with what we've got because we know it's a trending stock and a valid trend intensity rating. So until told otherwise, we don't change our pitch here. Trend intensity rating is 9, which is good. It had a 36% correction, a big correction to this for Aristocrat, and it's now starting to develop these higher lows and higher highs pattern. Not sort of perhaps quite what we'd like right at the moment because we're going through the sideways drift, but an impulse move is inevitable if it breaks above this 41.85 level. Okay, so that's Aristocrat, my third pick in the range. My fourth pick is Dicker Data. Why wouldn't it be? It's going up. and it's going up very nicely. We've had a nice little trend change down here, which we've analysed quite closely the last few weeks on this. It's a little Davis box pattern here, which is broken out of again, and it's now moving up higher again. So we're starting to get this trending period might start to develop. The volume is pretty good, momentum is good. It's well above the average. Trend intensity rating of +9. That's my pick 4 for this week. Okay, as I said before, any stock that's trending and has a valid trend intensity rating can be bought as long as you use a stop, because we never know how far our trend is going to go. Okay, and this stock trends quite nicely so far. Okay, so that's ticker data. And my 4th pick here is probably a new one for you. Okay, and this is JXX. And this again shows my trading strategy and how it works. If I'm in a trend and I have a stop that's set between X amount, if my stop goes off, it doesn't really matter. All I do is renew the situation. And this situation here with James Hardie, trend intensity rating is now 9. But what happened up here, we had a nice little trend up break. It broke down here, it's come back too far. I can't risk losing more money. So I've stopped myself out, locked in the profit I've got there, which was quite a good little profit. I think it was probably only about 10%, but in a very short period of time, still a good profit. And now we just wait for it to either go down, which it started to, then it went straight back up again. So we've rebought this one last week, and we're now holding for this to move up towards the R2 level. But you probably noticed Boral's doing pretty well again. There's an interesting flavour amongst those builders at the moment, and James Hardie certainly seems to be catching the fever. So we have a stock rate as re-entry signal above the high here at the moment, and we have very good volume momentum pushing this high as well. So that is my pick 5 this week. They are my 5 top stock picks, and they're all trending nicely. And they are just the ones that we follow because they're trending up. So there's the ones you can follow to have a look at, because they are looking very interesting. Some have got a long way to go. Some have already gone a long way, like Pro Medicus, Magellan. But the ticker datas, James Hardie, even Aristocrat may have plenty more left in the tank yet, provided they stay above their stop. Okay. So I just want to get into a couple more little topical ones really now, sort of whether they're recovery stocks or whatever they might be. They're an interesting situation. AGL I've been looking at for a while, and until yesterday, we had a little bit of a drop-off yesterday there, but until yesterday, after this really wicked move high here, which is a great little profit generator for us, we got stopped out here, okay, we locked in our profit, we stand and wait for neutral. This stock has actually gone down, so we're not doing anything, okay, but it hasn't really been sold off, considering the speed of this move and the distance it travelled here. The sell-off here, and until yesterday, really, it was just really pottering sideways. We've had a bit of weakness there yesterday, but it really looks there's sort of a quiet before the storm happening here. Nothing's really eventuated after this big rally. The volume's dried up, momentum sagging back to zero as it goes sideways. So I will just watch this because it's holding onto these gains pretty well. There's always interesting manoeuvres at AGL with Cannon Brooks and things like that in there, making some decisions, and they're certainly changing the shape of this company quite quickly. So an interesting situation and opportunity. Keep an eye on AGL Energy. At this stage, our trigger would be up here for a new height. We may well get a trend reversal from lower. We'll just have to watch this space for that one. Okay, so that's AGL. Washington Soul Pattinson, I just mentioned before, purely because it's just simply a trending stock. We saw a trend develop here. It was then confirmed when it went through this level here to around about $28, $29, and then sped higher, and it's had a nice little pullback, rally, pullback. We're getting a similar pullback to here, back towards the average and trend line, and with all likelihood it's going to continue higher again. If it doesn't, our stop will go off and we will get out. For the moment, the trend intensity rating is 7. It is trending well. It's had a trend reversal. It's moving higher and higher highs and higher lows. The trend intensity rating is 7. The biggest weak link there is the volume, which is not really telling us an awful lot amount there, although we've had a bit of a closer look at it. We can see plenty of green bars, plenty of red bars, so there's a bit of a battle going on here at the moment. This is just a steady trend, as I said before. If this keeps going up at this sort of pace, this will just go flat above zero, so that's okay. So everything's pretty good, just a little bit of volume here, a little bit of selling there, but nothing to be concerned about at this stage, I would think. So this trend for Soul Pattinson remains intact. It's just a simple trend moving high highs and high lows. Remember our magic filter from last week? That's what I'm always looking for to give me an idea of where I should be positioned in a stock. Okay, so that's Soul Pattinson. The other one, a bit more of a topical one, Paladin Energy. Uranium's a tough one. I was reading an interesting report today about BHP is one of the biggest uranium producers in the world, interesting enough. Not that it has a huge percentage return on its total income, but it is a big player in that market, which is sort of interesting. Certainly bigger than these other ones like Paladin, Boss Energy, Bannerman, and all these other ones. So anyway, I just thought I'd have a look at the uranium stocks today. I'll look at Paladin anyway because it did break higher. Did break higher, and then we came back down. We found a bit of support here. We've got our protection in. It's now rallying higher again. We've got some good volume here. We've had a bit of a test with the red bars here. Not a lot happening in the green bars yet. Okay, so we'll see how this week finishes up. But the trend intensity rating is +8. It has made a new high. It has got a qualified trend intensity rating, and everything looks okay here. But it is a uranium stock, and we've got to be very, very careful. So just keep an eye on it. But it's looking like it's heading in the right direction. The rewards could be amazing on this one. We'll just have to wait and see how it develops from here. Okay, and then my last stock that I've got here is one that I've been watching for a long time. In fact, it's been on my opportunities table in my newsletter for a while. I've just really I haven't done anything yet, but I've just been watching it because it's one of these new listing stocks, and I'm always intrigued by new listing stocks because there's a lot of uncertainty that often happens with new stocks. They have a rally, then they come back, and they tend to move in a trading range until the market gets comfortable with what the stock is, and then they may well take it higher. So this is a situation with Deterra Royalties, which has gone sideways for some time, but all of a sudden now we're getting some significant interest here as it tests the highs at $5.13. Now, you can watch this one on Stock Radar over coming weeks, but this is the trigger here. We've got some very, very exciting volume has developed in this upward move here. And we've also got some very, very powerful momentum signals happening here, which is a maximum. These are all maximum ratings. The only thing that's holding this back now is the break here. It must break here. The price break is the most important, and that's where that's with the signal for me on the Deterra Royalty. So that's an interesting one, perhaps flying under the radar a bit, but as we are short of opportunities these days, this one looks like a good one to watch for the moment. So let's see what happens there. Okay, so that's really about it for today. What else have I got there now? I've got the newsletter coming out next week. I've talked a little bit about the cash equity balance thing that we look at. Also filling in the details of the trade plan so as you know exactly how to build your own trade plan and work with it. Okay, so I'm going to be travelling for the next week or two, so there'll be no video next week, but I'll be back the following week with my 5 hottest prospects, so get excited about that in 2 weeks' time. I know this is coming out a day early because I'm off tomorrow, and then I'll be back in 2 weeks' time to give you my 5 hottest prospects, and who knows, a Santa Claus rally may well be underway. It may not be, we don't know, but we'll have to just wait and see. But again, focus on the stocks that you have got, the ones that are working for you. The ones that aren't, don't try and see what's not there. Don't try and pick them out. Wait until those opportunities occur. It's a stock like the Deterra Royalties. I've been waiting a long time for this, but when they happen, you get ready and you shoot hard for it and make your play. And so that's how you do it. So stay safe, respect your trends, heed your stops, and I'll see you all not next week, in a fortnight for another rundown on what the market's doing. Okay, thanks very much.